At my grandfather's funeral, a stranger approached me and said, "He told me you'd know what to do with this." I didn't recognize her. Mid-50s, sharp suit, the kind of woman who looked like she belonged in a boardroom, not a funeral home in rural Montana. She handed me a small metal box with my grandfather's initials engraved on top. "I'm sorry for your loss," she said. "Your grandfather was a good man." I turned the box over in my hands. It was heavier than it looked. "Who are you?" "Someone who owed him a debt." She glanced around the room at my family mingling near the caskets. "He said if anything happened to him, I should give this to you specifically. Said you were the only one who'd understand." Before I could ask what that meant, she was gone. I slipped the box into my jacket pocket and forgot about it until later that night. Back at my grandfather's house, surrounded by relatives picking over his belongings like vultures, I finally opened it. Inside was a key. Just a key. No note, no explanation. But I recognized the shape immediately. It was a safe deposit box key. My grandfather had been a janitor his entire life, worked nights at the courthouse for 40 years, retired with a modest pension, lived in the same small house since 1978. The man clipped coupons and reused aluminum foil. What would he need a safe deposit box for? The next morning, I drove to the only bank in town. The teller looked at the key, checked her system, and her face went pale. "Box 447, but sir, this account has been flagged." "Flagged for what?" She didn't answer. Just picked up the phone and made a call. 2 minutes later, a manager appeared and escorted me to a private room. "Mr. Smith, before we proceed, I need to ask you some questions." I told him I was my grandfather's grandson. Showed him my ID. He studied it for a long time. "Your grandfather rented this box in 1983. He paid for it annually, in cash. For 41 years, he never missed a payment." The manager paused. "The instructions he left were very specific. Only you could access it. Not your father, not your uncle. You. Why me?" He didn't say. The manager led me down to the vault. Box 447 was larger than I expected. He inserted his key, I inserted mine, and we turned them simultaneously. Inside were folders. Dozens of them, each labeled with a date and a name. I opened the first one randomly. Inside were photographs, documents, bank statements. The name on the folder was Judge Brown, the man who'd presided over our county for 30 years before dying of a heart attack in 2019. The documents showed wire transfers, payments from local businessmen, kickbacks for favorable rulings. My grandfather had documented everything. I opened another folder, Sheriff Dawson, photos of him meeting with known drug dealers, logs of evidence that went missing from the courthouse, my grandfather's handwriting in the margins, noting dates and times. Folder after folder, the same pattern. My grandfather had spent 40 years cleaning the courthouse at night, and he'd been collecting evidence the entire time. My hands were shaking. "Why didn't he report this?" "That's not all," the manager said quietly. He pointed to a sealed envelope at the bottom of the box. I opened it. Inside was a letter addressed to me. "Ryan, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I collected this evidence because I thought I could do something with it. Thought I could fix what was broken. But I was wrong. These people are too powerful. They'd destroy anyone who tried to expose them, including me. Including your grandmother. Your grandmother didn't die in a car accident. She found out what I was doing. Confronted Judge Brown about it. 3 days later, her brakes failed. The police ruled it an accident. I knew better. I kept collecting evidence anyway. Not because I thought I could use it, but because I couldn't stop. It became an obsession. Now I'm giving it to you because you're the only one in this family who doesn't live here anymore. You got out. You're safe. Do what I couldn't. But be careful. These people are still in power." I sat there staring at decades of corruption. Evidence that could destroy careers, send people to prison, rewrite the entire power structure of our county. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. "I heard you visited the bank today. Your grandfather was a smart man. Knew when to keep quiet. You should too." Then another text. A photo. My apartment in Seattle. Taken this morning. I looked at the manager. "Is there any way they could know I'm here?" His face went gray. "The teller who helped you. She's Judge Brown's niece." I grabbed the folders, shoved them in my bag. "I need to leave. Now." Back in my car, I called the woman from the funeral. She picked up on the first ring. "You opened it. Who are you?" "FBI. Your grandfather contacted me 6 months ago. Said he had information but was too scared to come forward. I told him I'd protect him." Her voice cracked. I was 2 days too late. "My grandmother wasn't an accident. We know. We've known for years. We just couldn't prove it without your grandfather's evidence." I looked at the folders on my passenger seat. 41 years of truth. What do I do now? Bring them to me. All of them. Your grandfather spent his life building this case. Let's finish it.